guys, welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here, welcome. I'm Florian and this is my little space on the internet where I talk about all of the things, really. I'm so glad that you're here, and if you find that you like it here, I would love it if you would subscribe and stick around. Probably should have heated up this coffee before I sat down to film this, but I didn't, and now I'm too lazy to get back up, so lukewarm coffee it is. Also, it's a little chilly down here, so I'm actually gonna take this blanket. I love this blanket so much. My childhood best friend, her mother made this for Mike and I as a housewarming gift when we bought our first house. And she passed away a few years later, and she was like a second mom to me. She basically helped raise me because my mom worked and she was a stay-at-home mom of 4 kids. That family is actually the reason I've always said I wanted 4 kids. I was like her 5th kid and I loved growing up in that household. So this blanket's really special to me, and I keep it in the playroom now, and it is very snuggly and warm and it's chilly. So I'm gonna wear this and drink my cold coffee and get comfy to talk to you guys today. Today I'm gonna be sharing 3 incredibly simple things that I have done in my life, in our household, to basically simplify things, and simplify things for me specifically, like make my own life easier. Because as an adult, I've got a lot going on. As the primary parent, I have even more going on, and you know, if there's just like, it's never ending, right? The list of things to do is never ending. And sometimes we have to find a way to just like make things easier on ourselves so we don't go absolutely crazy, or banana sandwich as I call it. First thing I'm going to talk about is actually something I talked about in a recent video, how we saved money for our family of 4 like during this time of inflation. I'm going to link that video up top if you're curious, but it is doing all of our shopping, that includes groceries, online, and doing in-store, or even better yet, drive up, pick up. When this feature first came out, I kind of stayed away from it because the grocery store that we were shopping at the time, it was a little bit expensive to do it. So we really only used that service a lot, mostly when Ariella was first born, because like I couldn't get to the grocery store with 2, like a newborn and a toddler. It just like wasn't gonna happen. It made sense to spend the money then, but then as you know, things got more expensive, we like obviously cut back on that, and I would go. And honestly, it's just not convenient. Every now and then I like to take a trip to a grocery store on my own, like without kids, without a husband, just shop, put my headphones in, listen to a podcast, I decompress, and I do enjoy that. However, doing that 4 times a month is just not in the cards for me. I do not want to do that. It is too much of a commitment, even if it's only 40 minutes of my Sunday morning. I just would rather be doing almost anything else, especially in the summer. Summertime in New Jersey, it's like we want to get to the beach, we want to get there early, we want to get our swimsuits on, be by the pool. Like, I don't want to be at the grocery store all morning on a Sunday. We switched our grocery store to Aldi for financial reasons. The prices were just way better. And Aldi uses Instacart to do in-store shopping for you. And Instacart only charges $1.99. I can do drive up, pick up with my groceries. I don't even have to go in the store. It is absolutely amazing. So not only is the fee for that cheaper, but the prices are better. And I like that they text you while they're shopping if they're out of something, to like, you know, provide feedback for replacements or whatever, if you just want something refunded. Like I like the Instacart process better. We spend so much less of our time shopping for groceries, things we need for the kids, things we need for the house. Like, whereas before, like that would eat up like at least half of one whole day in the weekend. And now all we have to do is set aside some time on a Sunday to like just stop from store to store to pick everything up. And like in between all the stores, there's usually a park trip for the kids so they don't go stir crazy in the car. And it just like, it works so much better for everybody. And it has made a world of difference and of convenience and simplifying my life. I know some people get a little weirded out. They like to pick their own meat. They like to like pick their own, you know, produce. And like, yes, every now and then there's a mistake. One time at Aldi, I got a cabbage instead of a lettuce. Every now and then there is going to be something that happens that is inconvenient or annoys you in the process, but it's still not as inconvenient as having to go to the store and do all the shopping for yourself. There is a little bit of a trade-off here. To me, it's not a big enough of a trade-off for me to not do it. So if that's something that you're worried about, giving up the reins of selecting your own meat and produce, I recommend to just try it a couple times, see how you feel. because you might decide, like I did, that it was more life-changing to not have to be in there doing all the shopping yourself than it is to not pick your own cantaloupe. Number 2, meal subscription service. Hear me out. Hear me out. I know this feels financially wasteful, and it still feels financially wasteful to me. I've never done it in the past, really. Well, we did it once when Blue Apron first came out. Mike and I were like newlyweds and it was like a cute idea I had, and I was like, oh, on like Fridays and Saturdays, like Mike and I can get in the kitchen together and like cook, and it's all like new recipes and like it'll be fun for us. And we did Blue Apron a couple of times and enjoyed it. I've taken it one step further entirely, and I subscribe to Factor for our family. This is not sponsored by Factor, but if Factor ever wanted to sponsor me, I would be willing, because here's the thing, okay? I've always seen the ads for them. The food always looks amazing, okay? It really does. And as somebody who's now had it in our home for 3 weeks, I can tell you I've not had a single meal from Factor that I did not like. They're all so good. Mike said the same thing yesterday. And the reason I decided to subscribe to Factor is because I was hurt and I couldn't cook, and I was so sick of eating takeout. For like the first week of me being hurt, all we did was eat takeout. And then when I was in the hospital, all I did was eat takeout. And when I got home, I was like, if I have to eat another takeout meal, I'm gonna lose it. Like, I just want real food, but I couldn't cook. So I decided to subscribe to Factor. I eat it for lunch and dinner. It's refrigerated food, so it doesn't come to you frozen. It's all fresh and refrigerated in microwave ready containers, and you have yourself a meal. And they're really, really good. And it keeps me from eating the same things over and over again. It's perfectly portioned out. They have meals for different lifestyles. So like if you're keto, if you need calorie friendly, if you need protein heavy, like they have all these different meals. I kind of do a mixture of everything, because before every week's box ships, you have a chance to select which meals you want and how many of each you want. And it's kept us from ordering. Oh my gosh, this is a preschool calling me. I have been trying to get Josiah into preschool, and it's so hard to get anybody on the phone. Hello? Okay, I'm back. Sorry about that. But I have just been having the hardest time getting anybody from any preschool on the phone. I get it, like school's about to start, so they're probably all getting back into like their classrooms and getting everything ready for the upcoming school year. And obviously I'm a procrastinator and I waited till the last minute, so it really is my fault. But when these people called, my heart dropped and I was like, I gotta get to my notebook so I can write down any notes. I was talking about Factor. Is Factor more expensive than grocery shopping and cooking all my own food at home? Yes, of course, because you're paying for the convenience of somebody else preparing your food, packaging it, and delivering it to your house. But there are so many different promo codes online that it truly doesn't feel like that much of a luxury that like I can't work it into our budget right now kind of thing. We're eating these for lunch and dinner, so I'm not buying like all the other things that I would buy. I'm not buying meat to cook in the evenings because I'm not doing that. My grocery shopping list consists of like the fresh fruits and veggies that like I feed the kids and that I snack on, a couple of different snack items for the kids that they like, and like their breakfast stuff. I alternate between like yogurt and egg bites that I make at home. So like I'm not really spending a lot at the grocery store. A lot of the times my grocery store like total comes in under $100. So for, you know, what feels like a little over $200, that convenience Factor works for me for that price point. And we won't always do Factor. I do think it kind of makes sense for us to kind of keep it going, especially right now because we're like not gonna have a kitchen for a little bit. But once we do get the kitchen back, I want to be in it cooking. So I'm not gonna want to be eating pre-made meals every night, as delicious as they are. If you're somebody who is struggling to prepare food, or you need help with healthier foods and things like that, or just you're busy, like this to me is so worth it, and it's made my life so easy right now in a season where like I can't do it all and there's a lot going on. And my third and final tip is revolutionary, dare I say. Okay, how many of you who are kind of like the primary parent and just like the primary person in the home, you're kind of the one that's responsible of carrying the mental load of everything? You're the cooker, you're the laundry doer, you're the bill payer, you're the person who organizes everything, you might be the cleaner, you might be the person who remembers that it's time to get the dryer vents cleaned or your ducts cleaned or whatever, or your HVAC unit service. Like you're kind of like you're carrying the mental load of absolutely everything that happens in your home with your kids, if you work with your job as well. And it's a lot, okay? Because that's where I live. And it's very easy when that's your role to get overwhelmed and then sometimes be resentful, not having the same responsibilities or carrying any of that mental load to assist you and help take care of your home and your family. Everybody who's like the primary, right, but who's going through life and raising kids with a partner has probably heard this from their partner at one point or another. And that's, well, if you asked me to help, I would help. And I will say, like, if I ask my husband to do something, he'll do it. Mike will always do it. He's never like, no, I'm not gonna do it. It's never happened. Does it happen on the time that I want it to happen? Not always. Argument that the primary always has back to the supporting partner when they say like, well, if you asked, I would help, is I don't want to have to ask. I want you to know. I want you to foresee that if we're leaving the house in a little bit, the diaper bag would need to be packed, the kids' water bottles would need to be filled, you know, and whatever, and we need the stroller in the trunk. Like, I don't want to have to list that out. I'm already doing XYZ things to get us ready. Like, anticipate the family's needs and act on them. Because it's not super helpful for me to have to stop and give you a list and answer a bunch of questions in the process when I'm already trying to do what I need to do to get us out of the house, right? We've all had these same arguments with our partners. It doesn't mean that our partners aren't helpful. It's just sometimes that they don't know how to be helpful in the way that we need them to be helpful. For the longest time, that was driving me absolutely crazy. How is it that I'm always expected to anticipate what needs to be done and do it, but you don't have to do the same thing? And then one day it just clicked to me, like, Lorianne, this is just how you are as a person, and this is not how he is as a person. This is not how his brain functions, and he is more than willing to be helpful and step up to the plate, just needs some help to get there. And if you don't want to have to stop and put together a whole list on the spot of the things that need to be done daily, weekly, like whatever, maybe what you should do is put together a document for him to follow. And thus, the master to-do list was born. Basically, the master to-do list is just a running list in the Notes app of my iPhone that I have shared with my husband. We are both able to collaborate on the list. We can add things, we can check things off or take things off if that's applicable. I have it broken down into 4 categories. So there's daily to-dos, weekly to-dos, short projects, and long projects. Some things that live on like the daily to-do list are to wash the dishes and or load and empty the dishwasher. That has to happen every day. Taking out the trash should happen at the end of every day so that we start off the day with an empty garbage can. Now on my weekly list, there's like a reminder that the garbage goes out to the curb every Sunday night. It's a bi-weekly thing, but recycling's got to go out every other Friday. And like the household cleaning stuff is on there. So like the bathrooms need to be cleaned once a week. I like all of the bed sheets and the towels to be washed once a week. Floors have to get vacuumed and mopped. The way I look at the weekly to-dos is like, I don't care when it gets done, as long as it gets done weekly. So like, I don't care if you want to come home from work and vacuum the floors and mop them on a Tuesday night. Doesn't bother me. That's okay. Like a caveat that I want something done on a specific day. Like if I know we're having company on Saturday, then no, I don't want you to clean the floors on Tuesday because I don't want to have to re-clean them. It just doesn't make, it's a waste of time. So we might as well wait to do that until Friday night anyway, kind of thing. So that's really the only time I have a caveat of like a date or a day that I want something to happen. Quick projects could be something in the home or just something that needs to be done that's not going to take you like an entire day to do. For example, I purchased a cute mirror for our bedroom to hang over our faux fireplace. I bought it months ago. It's still sitting on the floor in our bedroom unhung. It would take no time at all for one of us to hang it. We just haven't gotten around to it. So that's on the quick project list. You got an extra 10-15 minutes on your hands? Hang the mirror up. Organize under the bathroom sinks or organize the medicine cabinet or something like that could end up being on the quick projects list. These are things that aren't going to take you all day to do. They will take you a little bit of time. They are to the benefit of the house and everyone that lives in it. Longer projects are obviously household things that we want to do that are going to take a little bit more time to get around to, or a chunk of time to like actually, you know, facilitate carrying out. So like we want to clean out the garage. That's going to require us renting a dumpster and probably taking an entire like Saturday or Sunday to actually like get in there and get everything out and thrown away. We want to paint the inside and the outside of the front door. Again, that is going to be a time-consuming project. And the whole point of this list is so that you don't always have to ask me, what can I do to help? Check the list. If we have something specific going on, like let's say it's one of the kids' birthdays and we're going to be throwing a party at the house, I'll add a section on the to-do list of all the things that need to get done before said party. Has this list created the perfect marriage for us? No. It has not solved every problem we've ever had, and it still doesn't mean that we don't get frustrated with each other over tasks and the way things get done and things like that. Like that does still happen, but has it been a huge help? Absolutely. And I highly, highly recommend it if you keep finding yourself in that situation as the primary where you're like looking for support from your partner and you're just not getting it. Most of the time I find that it's not that your partner is not willing to help, it's that they genuinely don't know what to do. So this helps to kind of alleviate a lot of that. And I think that you'll find if you implement this, it can be very helpful for you. Like I said, it's as simple as creating a list in the Notes app on your phone and just sharing it with your partner, or creating a Google Doc or whatever where you can both work off of. I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with me today and talking about 3 simple things that I have done to really simplify my life and make my life easier. If you did, you can give this video a thumbs up. It really helps out my channel and I appreciate it. Don't forget to leave any questions or comments down below. I would love to hear from you. If you haven't already, you can subscribe for more videos in the future. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're living better, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye.